Okay guys, welcome back to Six Cars. This is our annual tradition, the bonus video from Monterey Car Week. It's our annual tour through the Ferrari lawn at Pebble Beach Concourse, where there is by far the greatest collection of Ferraris in the world at this very moment. We're going to walk through the whole thing, show you guys the coolest models. It's going to be fantastic, especially if you are a diehard Ferrari fan. So without further ado, we're going to hit the lawn. You can already see the new Ferrari Amalfi behind me, so we'll check that out too. Then we'll see everything else. So make sure you hit subscribe, leave your likes and comments. Let's jump into the Ferrari action. So since we're already here, I might as well start off by showing you guys the new Ferrari Amalfi, really just the facelift version of the current Ferrari Roma. You can see sort of a new headlight design down there, similar actually to what you would see in the SP1, SP2 Monza. So I do actually kind of like that. The launch color is quite nice as well. I don't know if you'd call it like turquoise or seafoam, but interior wise, I think there were some changes in there. That new screen over there on the passenger side is actually quite nice. I do like that. But from the back here, as you can see, very much similar still to the Roma, just with some nice new touches. Actually, the back is kind of giving me some 12 cylindry vibes too. So, hey, not too bad. But now we will go over and check out the big Concorso Ferrari section. Okay, so we start off with the lineup of SP3s. Now, we've seen a lot of these driving around, but it'll be nice to actually get up close to them and take a better look. There's so many people, so I'll do the best I can to get all of the best angles. This one is quite nice, though, starting off in the yellow paint with that sort of heritage silver stripe. Do like how it matches the engine cover at the back as well. But look at that. I think yellow Ferraris to me are always the best looking ones. That just looks fantastic. But over here, this light blue with the red stripes, this is similar to an iconic Ferrari race car, the 250 Tour de France. And this is obviously very nice to see someone going with a heritage spec. But look at these bright red seats with the blue stripes and the blue Ferrari prancing horse in the headrest. It's a full tailor-made spec and it looks absolutely lovely. That is just so nice to see. And great to see all of these different SP3s and the fact that they're all different specs. We've got the dark red SP3 here. I think we might have seen this one last year, but it's a beautiful color. It's sort of, I believe, might be Rosso Fuoco, but with the dark blue stripe against the white. Does look quite nice as well. Maybe a bit simpler compared to some of the other ones here, but you can never go wrong with the dark red in a Ferrari. That looks fantastic. Do have 812 comps over here as well. The open top versions like this with the Aperta. It's an interesting color. I don't know if this is Grigio Silverstone or not, but it's kind of very simplistic, but I think it does look nice. It's classy on this particular car. Got the silver one over here as well. Man, oh man, it's a lot of Ferrari fans here. Obviously, lots and lots of people. We've got the silver one down here with the red lipstick strike down the middle. That looks quite nice as well. This SP3 we saw on the drive yesterday is a magnificent spec. Another one that we actually saw back at Connecticut, but we didn't see before up close. It's actually finished in full carbon fiber, so dark red. It's not paint, but I love the light blue stripes too. Again, matching those interior seats, a nice tailor-made spec. That is absolutely lovely. And over here, a very, very nice dark blue 812 Competizione. Yeah, the blue on this 812 comp is absolutely lovely. No other way to put it. The white stripe is a nice touch as well, especially against carbon fiber stripe across the hood and the carbon fiber wheels. There is something very loud revving over there. I will check out in a second, but I'm taking the chance to look at the cars while the crowds are drawn away a bit. Blue stitching and accents through the interior as well. And look at this, a green SP3 Daytona. My goodness, does that ever stick out like a sore thumb in the best way possible on the Ferrari lawn against these gold wheels. That is quite bold looking. Interestingly enough, it's kind of hard to tell, but there are brown seats in there, but there's some green accents too. You can just kind of see on the paddles there behind the steering wheel. Man, oh man, that is another very good looking SP3. And again, nice to see all the different specs here and not just finished in all red. And just at the other side of all those SP3 Daytonas, we have the first SP, the SP1, the Monza. So obviously the difference between the 1 and the 2 is that the SP1 is a single-seater, aka the anti-social Ferrari Monza. In case you do not want a passenger with you, they just cover up the side. But I have always loved this open-top speedster look on the Monzas. Of course, a direct competitor to the likes of the Sterling Moss that we saw this week, as well as the McLaren Elva. But I think this one does it the best, the SP Monza. That is such a lovely design, very similar to some of the classic Ferrari races we'll see over there quite shortly. But really cool to see this behind all of the nicely spec'd tailor-made SP3s. Here is one of the most interesting modern Ferraris, the 499P Modificata. So if you're not familiar with racing in WEC and Le Mans, the 499P has won at Le Mans in the last 2 years, so this is obviously a very iconic car. But the Modificata is interesting because it is the customer version, where they can sort of take some of the restrictions that are not on the race car and just sort of let loose and sell it to their customers. They can take it to track days. This is something that would be available during the XX racing days with the Ferrari FXX and the FXXK and the 599XX and the likes of that. So this is obviously a customer car that is present here at the Ferrari lawn. And shift around to the back here, Villa d'Este, we did see the actual race car in its like final guise with all of the rubber and dirt on it, which was really interesting to see. And now we're obviously checking out a much cleaner version from a customer, the 49P Modificata. But what a beautiful looking car, I must say. The massive double or triple wing, if you want to call it, at the back with these huge mounts that stick right on to the bodywork of the car. One of my favorite features on the 499P, but that is just lovely, especially in yellow too. And just a quick correction, it's actually the last 3 years. I think I said 2 years, but 3 years in a row, the 499P has won at Le Mans. Obviously incredibly successful. And there's a reason why the V6 power plant in this car was put into the road car behind it, the F80, which we'll go look at right now. So there is the F80, as I mentioned, sharing the same power plant as the 499P Le Mans hypercar, obviously wanting to flex off that very successful race engine in their modern hypercars, following up on the success of the LaFerrari. So good thing we did actually see this back at Cavallino in January, and then we saw it driving here in Pebble Beach the other day too, where there wasn't as crowded. As you can tell, there's a lot of people, but we could still get another quick look at it. I have said multiple times now, I really like the design of this car. It's incredibly sleek and definitely has that Le Mans kind of vibe to it, but I think this is a worthy successor to the LaFerrari. And I'll shift around to the back too and take a look at the interior for you guys as well. Yep, so there is the back of the F80. Probably, I think maybe my best or favorite part of this car is that rear active aero wing. Still haven't seen it driving with the wing up, but it's really cool in pictures. If you guys have seen the videos of it on track, and I believe it was Italy, it stands really tall, very aggressive. I absolutely love the look of it. So hopefully we will see it driving with the wing up at some point in the near future. But I'm just going to walk up to the interior now. Yeah, so interior wise, obviously, I'd say it's kind of bare bones, but that's exactly what I'd want from a very performance-oriented hypercar like this. You do still have that screen on the passenger side, which is kind of an iconic feature now for these modern Ferraris. But yes, I do like the seats as well with the harnesses. It's a great looking car, guys. That's all I can say. If you haven't seen it in person yet, I believe if you're not too big on it in pictures, wait until you see it in person, because it does change drastically. I absolutely love the looks of this thing. Behind the F80, we have the new 296 Speciale as well. A very new car. Obviously, this is very similar to the likes of the 458 Speciale and the 488 Pista, the track-oriented version of the 296. I was already a big fan of the standard 296, so I really like what they've done with this new one. The front kind of reminds me of the SF90 XX, just the way it's all comprised down there. I like the new louvers and the intakes they have on the hood. And if we shift around to the back, my favorite feature is just these little winglets back here. It's very reminiscent of the Ferrari FXX, not without the Evo kit. I just do like how they're hanging over the back like that. And the livery obviously paying homage to the 499P Le Mans car, but that looks fantastic. I really like it. It's a great iteration of that new 296, but let me know in the comments what you guys think of this new 296 Speciale. But clearly, obviously on my side, I'm giving it a big thumbs up. So we have the Ferrari hypercar section here, starting off with this nice LaFerrari Aperta, very similar to the one we saw back at Sotheby's, the black with the slight red stripes. We have a LaFerrari coupe here in the standard I believe this is Rosso Corsa here, but nice that has the gunmetal wheels, so a little bit different than your standard spec launch LaFerrari. We've got the classic 288 GTO, always good to see that. I've always loved the lines of that car. My personal favorite Ferrari, the F40. We've got a nice red F50 behind that as well. And there is that blue pozzi Ferrari Enzo. That is just absolutely lovely. It's a one of one, the only Enzo featured in this color. It's a lovely dark blue. It sort of shifts in the light. If you look at it in darker settings, it almost looks black. But out here on the lawn, you can clearly see it's a very nice shade of blue. And against those brown seats inside with all the carbon fiber, man, oh man, does it ever look good. Just take a look at this from the front. I've always loved the Ferrari Enzo in yellow in particular, but this dark blue pozzi might actually take the cake for me. This might be the best one I have seen yet. Just a beautiful, beautiful looking car, but we'll continue to make our way through, see what else we can see here on the Ferrari lawn. So towards the back, another red F40. Never ever get tired of them. We've got the standard red Enzo back there. A lot of people around it right now. We have the F50, which has been completely opened up, so always interesting to see that. Clearly nothing much going on at the front here, being rear engine, but it's cool. You can see the Ferrari luggage compartment. Not very much space at all to work with there, but you're not buying this car for its storage. That is absolutely true. But inside, there we go. I love the red seat inserts against the black leather. It looks fantastic, especially with that carbon fiber dashboard too, the gated manual, and there is the big V12 back there, one of the best sounding Ferrari engines and Ferrari cars of all time. So really cool to get to see that, and kudos for opening the top as well to get a look at the interior. There is another 288 GTO back there and another pair of LaFerraris. We have another coupe here finished in a nice yellow with the black painted hood, and as well a silver Ferrari Aperta over here with these just tiny little silver accents as well, a bit different from the rest of the exterior colors, so always nice to see little touches like that. But interior wise, a very good look with the black against the red, a classic Ferrari looking interior, and always great to see the open top variant of the LaFerrari. The Aperta just looks so good with the roof off. An absolutely beautiful car to be here on the Pebble lawn. And here we are in a race car section, so definitely up my alley. A 1997 Ferrari F1, the F310B, a Michael Schumacher car. And this one sort of has some significance with fellow Canadian racing fans like myself, because this is the year that Jacques Villeneuve won with Williams. And if you guys are familiar with your Formula 1 history, the last race of that season at Jerez, there was a bit of an incident with Schumacher being overtaken by Villeneuve and then turning in on him to try and stop him from passing, and it ended up backfiring, and Schumacher lost the championship to Villeneuve. And this was the car, maybe not from that exact same race, but this is the exact year that he did it in. So a bit of history obviously with that, so cool to see an F310B, and always nice to see a Schumacher Ferrari, quite legendary of course. And then behind that, beautiful F430 GTC, great sounding race car, and just obviously looks wise, it looks beautiful. 458 GT3 beside that. We've got the 48 GT3 over there, a more modern Ferrari F1 car driven by Charles Leclerc. See if we can get up close to that. As I previously mentioned, there are some pretty hefty crowds here on the Ferrari lawn. Let's take a look at some of the classics first. This 1952 340 America, obviously one of the earlier Ferrari race cars, but finished blue on blue, which looks quite striking. It's a right-hand drive car as well. But man, I do like the fastback styling on this. The white interior looks beautiful against the all blue on the exterior as well. And turning around here, we've got the 275 GTB4, the competition version, which is quite lovely. We have the most expensive car in the world back there for a while, the 250 GTO, and there's actually a second one over there as well. So we'll take a look at those. But yeah, let's keep going through the lawn. So here is the 250 GTO, and I believe this was the actual car that had the record for the most expensive vehicle sale of all time as well. Just a lovely design on this, the silver with the TDF stripe on it, and obviously in immaculate condition. I believe if this did sell nowadays, it would probably fetch over $100 million, especially after seeing that RM auction last night and seeing some of the prices that were being generated. It's the car market is absolutely ridiculously inflated right now. So something like this probably would easily get $100 million, which is just wild to think about. And the fact that we are just standing right next to it is pretty damn remarkable and quite special. Behind that, though, this is one of my favorite of the classic Ferrari racers, 365 GTB4 Competizione. The Daytona is already a great looking car, but when you really beef it up into its competition form, and you get these nice little fender flares on it, and obviously with the livery too, it just makes it even cooler. And that is just such a good looking car. And we have some more Ferraris back here. We have the 250 GT Berlinetta in this beautiful gold color. This is such a nice design, a bit different from standard Ferrari design studies. Actually, this is almost something that you'd expect from Aston Martin or the likes of that, but it looks really nice in the gold, and that fastback styling is just absolutely lovely. And then there's another 250 GT Berlinetta over here as well, finished in a more traditional like gray or silver. In fact, this one here definitely in this color has an Aston Martin vibe to it, but it's a great looking car. I'll show you guys the back here quickly. You can see what I'm talking about. Definitely has like a bit of DB5 vibes to it, but it's really cool when you see these old Ferraris and see how they really experimented with their designs back in the day. And there's a look at the back of our other 250 GTO here. Obviously, just a beautiful, beautiful design. I always have loved the fastback styling on this one, and I think the blue and the yellow is probably my favorite of the two that we have here on display. I just think it works really well on this car. You might not want to be touching that, sir, but oh man, that is such a great looking car. And like I said, extremely valuable. Over 100 million it has to be in 2025. So just ridiculous that there is two of these on the lawn at the same time. And then this one here, the 330LM, I'm actually not 100% familiar with this car, but it's interesting enough, and I want to show you guys because it actually is quite similar to the front of the 250 GTO. So I'm not really sure that if it's got the LM namesake on it, I'm sure they competed with it at Le Mans, but it's quite interesting. It's almost like a long nose 250 GTO. That's the best way I can put it. You can sort of see over there the similarities between the two front ends, but towards the back it's quite a different looking car. It almost looks like a Grand Tour that was converted into being a race car at the last minute. But look at the size of the exhaust at the back too. That is so cool. It would obviously sound magnificent ripping down the Mulsanne straight. A beautiful, beautiful car. And we have an SF90 XX Spider here, a car we've seen a few of these in the past week or so, but I wanted to show you in particular the spec on this car because while it looks like just a standard white, we actually shift around the light. There's a bit of a blue flake to it, which is something I've not really seen on any Ferrari before. So I'm only assuming this is a tailor-made spec. It looks fantastic, I have to say, especially with the blue stripe going down the center. It matches the top of the steering wheel there. You can see through the windshield as well as the blue seats. A great spec on this car. Look at even the wing plates on the fixed GT wing in the matching blue. And I've said before, I think this is just such a huge improvement over the standard SF90, which is just over there. That's actually a pretty good spec on that one, I'm not gonna lie. But man, the XX, like I said, big improvement. And there's actually a second one over here in sort of like a silverish gray with orange accents. That one looks quite good too, but I must say this one right here, and it does have my number on it, number 27, definitely gets my vote out of the two. Here's a more modern Ferrari Formula 1 car, 2019 SF90. This one obviously lent the name to the road car. This one is driven by Charles Leclerc, but man, look at how much bigger it is compared to the 1997 Schumacher we saw just over there. This is just obviously much faster, way more tech in it, but these cars are just way too big, guys. I mean, this is a big debate in Formula 1 right now. I know they're making the cars smaller in 2026, which is a good thing. It is cool to see, obviously, but yeah, definitely way too big, I have to say. Even though it is quite cool to see this on the lawn, I still prefer the older Formula 1 cars. And then we have a whole classic race car section here as well for my fellow motorsport lovers. Look at this, the 250 LM. It's cool to see this one actually, because as we've seen a lot of the new 296, now you can actually see how it really took its design inspiration from the 250 LM, especially with this rear window, just how it's quite short or narrow and sort of just sits right in the middle between these rear humps at the back of the car. But obviously a very significant race car in Ferrari's history, a Le Mans winner, and in yellow, man, does that ever look good. Beside it though, far more extreme as we go a bit more towards modernity. The 512 BBLM from the Group 5 era, where they have these crazy wide bodies, massive super silhouette cars. This is by far one of the best looking ones from that era, and we'll actually get to take a look inside. The turbo fans on it, a huge thumbs up from me. But have a look at that and just compare it to some of the more modern race cars, where modern cars have so many buttons. It almost looks like a command center for a rocket ship. This is basically just a steering wheel, a seat, a shifter, and your gauges. That's pretty much all you get, but really nice to see that. There's a 412 over there as well, the customer version of the 330p4, which is always good to see. And look at that, we got 333 SP as well. Just cool Ferraris everywhere you look. Yeah, so the 333 SP, obviously a prototype competing towards the mid and late 90s. This is by far one of the best sounding race cars of all time. Huge V12 in the back, and just has that like classic Le Mans prototype styling that is just so famous with these race cars. One of the cool little touches I've always noticed with this car too is just how they have, I believe that's the fog lights up there, the hell is, and they just hide it right in front of the driver basically on the hood. It's quite interesting, and it's kind of cool how it's just hidden like that and pushed so far back. But a great looking Ferrari race car, and there's obviously some more classics back here we're going to take a look at right now too. We have a 250 Testarossa, obviously right up there with the 250 GTO when it comes to the most significant and expensive race cars of all time. And you can also see how this one really inspired the design for the SP1 SP2 Monza with the open top speedster look. That is just lovely. Over here, a really weird and interesting car, the 365p Berlinetta Speciale. Sort of looks like a Ferrari Dino, but take a look inside. This is by far the most interesting part. It's a 3-seater. Yes, if you didn't know, Ferrari did make a 3-seater car. This is a one of one. Check it out, the gear shifter right there between the passenger and the driver. Obviously very similar to what you would see nowadays in the McLaren F1 and the McLaren Speedtail and the Gordon Murray T50. We have a nice Ferrari 500 Mondial 1954. Obviously these are some of the earlier Ferrari race cars, and very significant and worth millions and millions of dollars. That's a great design on this one too. I actually really like the small grille at the front. It really suits the car. Just look how massive the hoods on these are too. Obviously fitting some humongous V12s in them. The 410S as well. 250 California, the Competition Spider, owned by the North American Racing Team. Very significant, of course. Seeing the 250 Testarossa back there as well. And just a few more towards the front here too. We have the 1948 166 Intersport Corsa, which I do believe is the first ever Ferrari race car. So you want to talk about significance, it doesn't get much more significant than that. Obviously Ferrari started off as just a racing team, so this would have been one of their first cars ever. And just look at how simplistic it is compared to some of the ones that we've seen towards the back, and just how much times have changed over the decades. There's not a lot going on with this. It's so tiny too. It's incredibly small. This is almost like how companies build those junior cars now. It's about that size. It's really tiny. There's absolutely nothing inside of it too. Really nice to see that. Look at that, a very unique 290mm as well. The other thing I do like seeing with these old race cars is the designs, because then you see why some of these owners put some weird or interesting specs on them, because they're taking inspiration from old race cars like this 290mm. We've got a 500 TRC over there as well, a 410S. Just a wicked display here, guys. The Ferrari lawn at Pebble Beach never disappoints.